Galbraith here, Girls Gone Strong. I'm here today with my business partner, Jim Laird. We co-own J&M Strength and Conditioning in Lexington, Kentucky. Last week we showed you Mastering the Squat Part 1. We talked about doing body weight squats, doing box squats. Jim went into some of the common form flaws that we see when females are performing squats. And today we're going to talk about the next progression, which are goblet squats.
The goblet squat is a great way to engrave a pattern, and that's the one thing we're trying to do here, is we're trying to get that pattern of ribs down, braced core, so that you can open your hips and actually squat. And that's the main thing. Before we progress to the bar on the back, we have to reinforce that pattern. And we have to understand that it's not going to be the same for everyone. Molly is built very differently than most ladies, and so you're going to have to kind of adjust for yourself, and that just comes from coaching. If you have a coach available, somebody, especially who's RKC certified, they're going to know how to coach the goblet squat properly, or hopefully you can find a good strength and conditioning coach. Our main concern here is longevity. You're going to see some people on the internet coaching with head back, arch back. That might work for some people, especially maxing out, but for our clientele, we want women to be able to lift over a 10, 12, 15, 20-year period, and getting your stability from your low back is not a good long-term modality.
Right.
So,
well, a lot of women have a really hard time stiffening their core, and by holding the weight at their chest, it helps them kind of stiffen their anterior core and have more control over their pelvis.
and it makes them pull the ribs down. They can't. It's hard to goblet squat.
Right.
Laird, so.
And people are really confused about what ribs down means. A lot of women get in this anterior pelvic tilt rib flare position. When we say ribs down, it forces them to a more neutral spine position. We'll either say ribs down or ribs to pelvis, and it makes sure that their spine's more neutral and in a good place. So
the first thing Molly's going to do is she's going to clean that kettlebell up. And you'll notice one of the big mistakes you'll see is people have their elbows flared up. They'll be holding it with their neck. So tuck those elbows underneath, and this is a really good time to teach your ladies to get their back tight, because most of them will be here. We want them to pull their blades together in the back eventually for when they have a bar on their back. So Molly's set up here, and the first thing she's going to do is, like she said, she's going to make sure those ribs are down. Some people, different women will be cued differently. Some women can blow their ribs down. Go ahead and do an example of that. Blow the ribs down and hold. And then what will happen is that she'll take like another breath and fill up down here. Okay? That works really well for some people. For others it doesn't. Some people just need to brace completely. Now the thing that she's going to do is she's going to keep that neutral so she doesn't fly into tilt. She's going to keep her chin slightly down but looking forward. And then she's just going to drop straight down between her knees. And then back up. Okay? Just like that. She's just going to keep doing a few more. The big mistake you're going to see is flying into extension. And then she's going to run into her hips. You can try this yourself. Throw your head back and squat and see where you feel it. Okay? When your head is neutral and packed, you're going to feel it more in your hips. Okay? You should feel this in your abs. You can add a band to your knees to help keep the knees out. If you see knees shooting forward, okay, a lot of women will end up having tight ankles because of their heels. You can always add, I don't recommend it for long term, but you can always add like a 5-pound plate under each heel just to ingrain the pattern. You'll see that if you're having a hard time getting down, getting depth, and staying neutral, just adding something under the heel just to ingrain that pattern, and then doing some soft tissue work on your ankles. Now, what we can do to make this more difficult is she can do a misloaded goblet squat. Okay? And she's going to clean it up, same thing, shoulders back, elbows under, just like that. And that's going to give us some core work. Same thing. Okay? And to load it up even more, she can do a double goblet squat.
this clean might not be too pretty, guys.
Just like that. Same thing, she's tight here. She's driving her knees out. Her head, her chin, her neck is packed. She can be either looking slightly down or straight ahead, whatever suits her the best. But you notice that she's nice and braced. This part of her body is very rigid, okay? But this is a really good way to teach that squat pattern, and then eventually we'll progress to a bar. If you can't do a good, clean goblet squat without your pelvic, without going into anterior tilt, or the other thing that will happen at the bottom is you'll butt wink. The pelvis will fly underneath, just like that, If that's happening too, you need to shut it down, get your depth up a little bit, maybe go back to the box, learn how to control that pelvis before you progress. Because if you can't do a goblet squat with good form, you're sure as heck not going to be able to squat a bar with good form.
Yeah, and like Jim said, don't be afraid to shorten the range of motion to where you can keep your pelvis neutral. I had some people asking last time why I wasn't squatting really far below parallel. I'm one of those people that has a hard time controlling my pelvis in that position. So I squat to where I can with good form, and then use accessory movements to bring up weak areas that I can squat.
You would use split lunges, half kneeling chopper lifts, and all that sort of stuff to get your hips functional enough, to get deep enough.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're better off with a little bit of a high squat than you are shearing your spine off.
And getting strong in that, getting strong in that position, using those exercises, any kind of the dead bug or breathing exercises, which we'll be talking about later when we talk about accessory movements for the squat. All of those are perfect, and those will help you be able to get deeper in the long run and maintain good form. So, thanks so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.